After all the controversy and anger that came with Squad's 4.2 update and the now infamous emotes, it seems that OWI has done a complete 180 with Update 4.3. It finally feels like our voices have been heard, at least a little bit. Instead of new factions or maps, they've actually decided to improve upon and balance an existing faction and map. So, let's go ahead and jump right in. Let's go ahead and start off with the most popular change. Let's talk about the changes to the Irregular Militia faction. Most squad players already know that this faction is probably the worst one in the game by far. They have lackluster kits, poor vehicles, poor emplacements, and overall they really struggle against conventional forces in a lot of ways, even more so than the insurgents. OWI has finally acknowledged this and has buffed the Irregular Militia, at least a little bit. The most exciting change that's coming has to be the BM-21 Grad rocket truck. While the details haven't been released entirely, it looks like it will be able to fire volleys of up to 40 122mm rockets. For balance reasons, it has a minimum firing distance of 900 meters and a maximum of 1500 meters. This is notably less than the UB-32 rocket techie, but with the Grad's rockets being significantly larger and more powerful, this is likely to keep the Grad from becoming too OP. Next up is probably the best change in my opinion. The militia are getting two brand new kits. The first is the Ambusher kit with two variations. Both will come with a deployable camo net that can conceal a single soldier. The first variation of Ambusher comes with an Iron Sights FAL, which has long been asked for in the community, and 5 frag rifle grenades. The second variation comes with an Iron Sights M4, 2 RGD-5 frag grenades, and 2 RKG-3 anti-tank grenades. Some of the squad OGs will remember that the RKG-3 is not really a new addition, but it's really more of a re-edition. It used to be in squad, but had to be removed because it was bugged. The other new kit is the Infiltrator. This guy comes armed with an AKS-74U with 45 round mags, a VZ-61 Scorpion as a sidearm, 2 RGD-5 frags, and 4 RKG-3 anti-tank grenades. This guy has the potential to wreak a lot of havoc upon some unsuspecting lodges and light vehicles. In addition to the Grad, the militia are also getting a few other new vehicles. They'll be getting an up-armored Ural 375 Logi, and will be getting some up-armored technicals similar to the armored techies of the insurgents. It's still kind of hard to believe that the militia hasn't had armored techies prior to this. But now that they'll have the armored Logi as well, at least they'll have some survivability against small arms while you're making your Logi runs. Finally, for the militia, they'll be getting some brand new emplacements and fortifications. They'll be getting new camouflage positions in the forms of the lean-to, wall, and canopy. The canopy is reported to be big enough to cover habs, so it'll be interesting to see how they end up being used. They're also getting access to hull down positions for tanks and BMPs to provide more protection from enemy armor at the cost of mobility. Finally, the militia are also getting the ZIS-3 field gun emplacement that will have heat, frag, and smoke rounds. Put this thing on some high ground with some of the new camo fortifications, and you could end up having a very effective area denial weapon. The next major change is coming to the Manic 5 map. Manic 5 has long been considered one of the worst maps because of its extreme elevations, the limited utility of vehicles, of course the constant tows that are always on top of its dam, and OWI has finally heard us. They have decided to scrap Manic 5 for Manicugan, which is basically just a reworked Manic 5 with less extreme elevations and more obscured lines of sight. Now while these pictures I've been showing you here only give a small snapshot of the improvements, It's going to be fun to see if this map becomes more dynamic going forward. Go ahead and comment below what you think of this latest update. I know it's early and it hasn't come yet, but I am interested to hear everybody's thoughts. It finally feels like OWI has been listening to our requests and our complaints. At least a little bit anyways. But go ahead and drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the battlefield.